Keflavik, Iceland. So much for our intelligence reports, General Andreev muttered. From his headquarters, he could see the massive shapes steaming slowly into view. They were the battleships Iowa and New Jersey, accompanied by missile cruisers for air defense. "We can engage them now," the artillery chief said. "Then do so. While you can." He turned to his communications officer. "Has word gotten out to Severomorsk?" "Yes, Northern Fleet will sortie its aircraft today, and submarines are being sent as well." "Tell them their primary targets are the American amphibious ships at Stickisholmer." "But we are not sure they are there. The harbor is too dangerous for—" "Where the hell else would they be?" Andreev demanded. "Our observation posts there do not answer us, and we have reports of enemy helicopters moving south and east in that direction. Think, man." "Comrade General, the Navy's primary objective will be the enemy carrier force." "Then explain to our comrades in blue that carrier aircraft cannot take Iceland away from us, but their fucking Marines can." Andreev saw smoke rise from one of the heavy gun batteries. The sound followed a few seconds later. The first Russian salvo landed several thousand yards short. "Fire mission!" Iowa had not fired her guns in anger since Korea, but now the massive 16-inch rifle started. In the central gunnery control station, a technician worked with joystick controls for a massive, remotely piloted vehicle. The miniature airplane purchased a few years earlier from Israel circled 8,000 feet above the Russian gun battery, its television camera shifting from one emplacement to another. "I kept 6 guns. Looked like 155 or so. Call them 6-inch. The precise location of the Russian battery was plotted. Next, the computer analyzed data on air density, barometric pressure, relative humidity, wind direction and speed, and a dozen other factors. The gunnery officer watched his status board for the solution line. "Commence firing." The center gun of the number 2 turret loosed a single round. A millimeter-band radar atop the after director tower tracked the shell, comparing its flight path with the one predicted by the fire control computer. Not surprisingly, there were some errors in predicted wind velocity. The radar zone computer forwarded the new empirical readings to the master system, and the remaining 8 main battery guns altered position slightly. They fired even before the first round landed. "Mother of God," Andreev whispered. The orange flash obscured the ship momentarily. Someone to his left shouted, perhaps thinking that one of the Russian artillery rounds had struck home. Andreev had no such illusions. His artillerymen were out of practice and had not yet bracketed their target. He turned his field glasses to his gun battery 4 kilometers away. The first round landed 1,500 meters southeast of the nearest gun. The next 8 landed 200 meters behind them. "Get that battery moved right now!" "Drop 200 and fire for effect." Already the guns were going through their 30-second reload cycle. Inert gas ejected scraps of the silk propellant bags out the muzzles to clear the bores. Then the breeches opened and loading ramps unfolded into place. The bores were checked for dangerous residue. Then elevators from the handling rooms rose to the back edge of the ramps, and the shells were rammed into the waiting gun barrels. The heavy power bags were dropped onto the ramps and rammed behind the shells. The ramp came up, the breeches closed hydraulically, and the guns elevated. The turret crews moved out of the loading compartments and held their hands over their muff-style ear protectors. In fire control, fingers depressed the keys and the breeches surged backwards once more. The cycle began again, the teenage seamen performing the same tasks that their grandfathers had done 40 years before. Andreev stepped outside to watch in ghastly fascination. He could hear the sound of ripping linen that announced the passage of the monstrous projectile, and turned toward the battery. Trucks were pulling up to the guns as the crews fired off their last rounds and began frantic preparations for relocating their guns. The battery had 6 152mm pieces and many trucks for the crews and ammunition. A curtain of dirt and rock appeared.
followed by 3 secondary explosions. Then 4 more salvos as Dorothy joined her older sister in the bombardment.
What's that?
A lieutenant pointed to a dot in the sky. The artillery commander tore his eyes away from what had been a third of his heavy guns and identified the remotely piloted vehicle. "I can have it shot down."
"No!" Andreev shouted. "You want to tell them where our last SAM launchers are?"
The general had faced mortar and rocket fire in Afghanistan. This was his first experience on the receiving end of heavy guns.